My mother never counted money out loud. Not once. Not at the kitchen table, not at the market, not even when she was alone in the house. If she needed to count coins, she would press her lips together and move her fingers in silence. No sound, no whisper, not even a breath shaped like a number. When I asked her why, she looked at me the way Jewish mothers look at you when the answer should already be obvious. She said, "The moment you speak a number, something hears it." I want you to sit with that for a second, because what she passed to me that afternoon was not a quirk. It was not a nervous habit. It was a rule, a very old rule, one that Jewish mothers have kept alive inside their homes for generations, not from a book, not from a rabbi's sermon, but from woman to woman, kitchen to kitchen, quietly, deliberately, for longer than most of us can trace. And most people have never heard it, not because it is complicated, not because it is hidden in some ancient text nobody can access, because it was never meant to leave the house. Here is what I know about you. You count what you have, and somehow it never grows. You look at what comes in and watch it drain before you have time to feel grateful. You try to be responsible. You try to be careful. You try to be honest about your numbers. You sit at the table, you count out loud, you name the amount, and still, the money moves through your hands like it was never really yours. You have done everything right by the modern world standards, and it still does not hold. You are not broken. You are not bad with money. You were simply never taught what Jewish mothers have always known about the space between money and the spoken word. The spoken number is not neutral. It never has been. My grandmother Rivka kept an envelope in the back of the second kitchen drawer, behind the wooden spoon, behind the extra candles she saved for Shabbat. She moved it every few weeks, so no single place held it too long. Nobody in the house knew exactly how much was in it. Not my grandfather, not her children, not even her closest friend who sat at that kitchen table every Thursday afternoon for 30 years. She never said the number aloud. She would slip money in and take money out with the quietest hands I have ever seen in my life. Slow, deliberate, like she was handling something sacred. She called it feeding the silence. She said that money grows in the dark and shrinks in the light of too many words. She was not ashamed of that envelope. She was not hiding it from shame or fear. She was protecting it, and by the time she passed, there was enough inside it to carry 3 families through a hard winter without asking anyone for help. That envelope never made a sound, and it never ran empty. Hiding your money from words is not shame. It is protection. It is one of the most ancient financial instincts Jewish women have preserved, and I am sharing it with you today because you deserve to know it. In Jewish tradition, there is a concept called ayin hara, the evil eye. You may have heard of it. Many cultures know some version of it. But what most people do not understand is that ayin hara is not only about jealousy from others. It is not only about the neighbor who smiles too long at what you have built. It can be invited by your own words. When you speak a number aloud, when you say exactly what you have, exactly what you saved, exactly what is left, you name it. You make it visible. You pull it out of the protected dark and place it in full light, and what is visible can be counted against you. This is not superstition. Jewish mothers did not keep this rule because they were fearful women. They kept it because they were observant ones. They watched, they remembered, they tracked what happened over years and decades to households around them. They noticed what happened to families where money was talked about freely at the table, debated loudly, announced to relatives and complained about in full voice. It disappeared faster, not slowly, fast. And they noticed what happened in homes where money was handled in silence, counted behind closed hands, blessed quietly, and spoken of only when necessary and only with gratitude. It stayed. It grew. It multiplied the way bread multiplies when you tend it with patience and warmth. The silence was not poverty. The silence was a strategy. Now let us talk about the kitchen, because this matters more than most people realize. The kitchen is the financial heart of the Jewish home. It is where provision is made, where food is prepared, where the family gathers every single day. It is not just a room, it is a vessel. And because it holds so much abundance, the bread, the warmth, the daily meals, the smell of everything being made, it is also where money energy is most vulnerable to disruption. Jewish mothers knew this without being told. They did not sit at the kitchen table and count cash while complaining about what was not enough. They did not open the bills and announce the total in full voice while children were eating. They did not let anxiety speak louder than the food on the stove. If money had to be discussed, it was discussed quietly, voices lowered. Sometimes a cloth was laid on the table first. Sometimes a loaf of bread was placed nearby before the conversation began. The bread was not decorative, it was protective. Bread on the table before a money conversation signals to the home that there is provision here, that there is enough, that lack does not lead this discussion. You are not starting from scarcity, you are counting from a place of blessing. You can do this in your own kitchen tonight. You do not need to be Jewish to honor this practice. You only need to understand that the energy you bring to your money is absorbed by your home. The walls remember what is said inside them. The Talmud holds something important about counting. In the Torah, there are strict rules around taking a census. You do not count people by number directly. You count indirectly, through objects or contributions, because naming the number precisely invites reduction. The counted thing becomes measured. What is measured becomes limited. What is limited stops growing. Jewish mothers applied this same logic to household wealth without being taught the Talmudic source directly. It was in their hands before it was ever in their minds. It lived in their muscle memory, in the way they folded money, in the way they lowered their voices, in the way they covered the table before any serious financial conversation. They understood that the portion hidden from the eye stays full, that what you cannot fully see cannot be fully diminished, that the blessing lives in the part you have not yet named. Bless what you cannot fully count. Keep part of it sacred and unseen. Now I want to tell you about the 3 things that Jewish mothers never said out loud inside the home. 3 phrases that were treated as dangerous, not because of superstition, but because of the pattern every generation of women had already witnessed with their own eyes. The first is, "We have nothing left." These 4 words, spoken in full voice inside the walls of the home, were considered an invitation, not a complaint, an invitation. You are telling the house, telling the air, telling every invisible force around you that lack has arrived and made itself at home. And once you speak that, something in the home agrees. The children hear it and begin to believe it. The husband hears it and stops expecting more. And the money hears it and settles into exactly the shape you described. Spoken poverty, repeated often enough, becomes settled poverty. Jewish mothers knew this. They would say instead, "We are waiting for the next blessing." The house learns the language you teach it. Feed it scarcity and it will hold scarcity. Feed it expectation and provision and watch what comes next. The second thing you must never say out loud is the exact amount. Not the balance in your account, not the cash in your wallet, not what is left after the bills are paid. When someone asks how much you have, Jewish mothers would smile and say, "Enough, thank God." That was the answer, always. Not because they were hiding shame, not because they were embarrassed, because they understood that naming a precise number exposes it. The number becomes a target, a ceiling, a fixed thing that stops expanding the moment it is fully defined. Keep the number inside you. Let the blessing be larger than what you can currently count. The third is the complaint about what money cannot cover. We cannot afford this. We cannot afford that. The money never reaches far enough. Every time you say this out loud, you are teaching the money where its limits are. You are drawing the boundary with your own voice. You are handing money a map of exactly how small it is allowed to be. And money is obedient. It will stay exactly inside the lines you draw for it with your words. Jewish mothers did not complain about what the money could not reach. They were quiet about the gap and grateful about what was already in hand. They spoke about what was coming, not what was missing. These were not passive women. These were not naive women. They were strategic ones. They understood something that most financial advisors will never tell you. The words you use around money inside your home are not just emotional. They are instructional. So what do you do instead? Here is the practice. Here is the ritual that Jewish mothers passed down through every generation of quiet, steady women who built homes that held more than they showed. You count, in your mind, not aloud. Your lips stay closed. Your hands move. Your eyes see the number, but you do not speak it into the room. The room does not need to know. Only you need to know. When you must discuss money with your spouse or your family, you first cover the table. A cloth, a book, a folded towel. It does not matter what you use. You are creating a boundary between the sacred and the spoken. You are saying, what is on this table is under protection before any word is said about it. You are setting the tone before the tone sets itself. After you finish counting, you do not close in silence. You close in blessing. You cover the money with your hand and you say, quietly but with full intention, may this be blessed and multiplied in my home. You are not performing. You are not pretending. You are sealing. The blessing is the only thing louder than the counting. Everything else stays soft. This is the silent count ritual. It is simple. It takes 30 seconds. It costs you nothing. And it changes the energy with which your money lives inside your home from this night forward. Tonight, I want you to try this. If you have cash in your home, take it out. Count it silently. Do not whisper the numbers. Do not mouth them. Do not let even your breath form a shape around them. Count with your mind only. Then place your hand over the money and say, may this be blessed and multiplied in my home. Then put it away. Do not tell anyone the amount. Not tonight, not tomorrow. Let the silence hold what the blessing just sealed. And before your next money conversation at the kitchen table, place something on the table first. Bread, if you have it. A candle, if you have it. Something that signals to the room. Provision lives here. We speak from blessing, not from fear. We count from gratitude, not from anxiety. We do not name our limits. We name our expectations. This is what Jewish mothers knew. This is what my grandmother Rivka knew, with her quiet hands and her silent envelope tucked behind the wooden spoon. She never announced what she had. She never complained about what was missing. She just kept feeding the silence, and the silence kept feeding her family. If this reached something in you today, write these words in the comments below. I will count in silence and bless out loud. Let that be your declaration. Let that be the new rule inside your home starting from tonight. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do it now. There are more of these teachings waiting for you. The things Jewish mothers kept inside the walls of the home, the rules that never made it into any public sermon but lived in the hands and the kitchens and the quiet drawers of women who built lasting households for generations. The next teaching I want to share with you is about the front door, about what you must never keep near it, and what Jewish grandmothers always placed there before the week began. You will want to see it. May your home hold more than it shows. May your silence protect what your hands have already built. And may every count you make from this day forward be sealed with a blessing too large for any eye to measure.